Whether you need a dependable daily driver, a sports car, or a rugged off-roader, Toyota's got you covered with its impressively broad lineup. But are all these models a good choice, and do they live up to the brand's reputation of excellence? Some of them are actually a bit of a letdown, so make sure to stay with us and find out which are the 5 worst and 5 best Toyota vehicles to buy this year. Let's start with the bad ones you should probably steer away from. Number 5, Toyota Crown. The Crown definitely stands out with its unique styling and well-built interior that puts the sedan above typical Toyotas in terms of luxury. Moreover, we really like its optional powertrain with a real automatic gearbox rather than a CVT. The only problem is that such a version would cost you way over $50,000, and that's not even the biggest problem we have with this car, not even close. I mean, the fuel economy is okay, but it's not even close to what you can get from the Camry. The Crown isn't particularly practical and comfortable either, and we find that the Camry is way better in this aspect. Things don't look much different when we compare it to direct competitors, which are more spacious, more fuel efficient, and significantly cheaper. The Japanese automaker tried to offer something more upscale, something that would slot between typical Toyota and Lexus, but they made it look like an unfinished product instead. Number 4, Toyota Corolla. Okay, this may sound quite controversial because how can the best-selling car of all time be a bad choice? After all, it's cheap, reliable, efficient, everything that a mainstream car needs to be good. Well, the thing is that the competition is much better. The current generation has been around for about 6 years, so it definitely isn't the freshest model around. Its interior looks less appealing compared to what rivals have to offer, while the performance is average at best. Furthermore, the second row of seats is tight, particularly in the case of the hatchback. What's also tight is the cargo area, which offers around 13 cubic feet in the case of sedans and 17.8 cubic feet in the case of hatchbacks, which are both below average ratings for its class. The ride quality isn't particularly great either, while sound insulation is traditionally the Corolla's weak spot. This is undoubtedly a good car, but the competition is simply better. Number 3, Toyota RAV4. Here comes another controversial claim, as we're talking about the best-selling SUV in the world. But the current generation has been around for a full 6 years. It's now the freshest model with a class, with a cabin design that looks quite basic when compared to most rivals. The sound insulation isn't particularly great, while criticisms about handling and steering are not particularly good either. Clearly, the current generation RAV4 is approaching the end of its production cycle, so we have no doubt that things will get much better in a year or two. But despite the drawback and the fact that we think that it's one of the worst Toyotas you can buy at the moment, it is a good SUV at the same time and pretty much a no-brainer. It's efficient, reliable, and practical, so you definitely won't go wrong with it. And we know we're contradicting ourselves here, but that's how it is. Number 2, Toyota Highlander. The Highlander continues to mark great sales figures, but does that mean it's one of the best SUVs around? We see it as one of the worst Toyotas you can buy today because it's also getting old and needs a redesign. The cabin is nice, but once again, rivals are nicer. More importantly, rivals are more generous with passenger space, especially in the third row. The hybrid version is fuel efficient, but the standard Turbo 4 is a bit of a letdown because it didn't bring many benefits in terms of power and efficiency. We want the smooth V6 back. Story doesn't end here. Since the Grand Highlander has been launched, we somehow feel that the Highlander is unsettled in the company's offer. Simply, the Grand Highlander solved the key issues of its smaller sibling. It's bigger, more spacious, and not to mention that it's available with a way more engaging hybrid powertrain with 362 horsepower and smooth shifting automatic transmission rather than a noisy CVT. Number 1, Toyota Sequoia. The Sequoia used to be a safe choice. It wasn't the most modern vehicle around nor the most efficient one, but it was spacious and super practical, let alone reliable and durable. But things changed with the arrival of the current generation, which did bring a more modern design, but also brought a couple of big compromises. The new hybrid powertrain is certainly more efficient and more powerful, but it made this once excellent value for money SUV quite expensive, with base variants going way over $60,000. But the biggest letdown is the cargo area. With such huge exterior dimensions, you would expect tons of interior space, but no. The Sequoia is so tight that many midsize crossovers feel superior. Even with the second and third rows down, you get no more than 87 cubic feet of cargo volume. While the fact that those seats don't fold flat is another big disappointment. Who needs such a massive SUV with so little cargo space? Now that we know what underperformance looks like, let's focus on Toyota's better side, on the best the Japanese automaker has to offer right now. Number 5, Toyota GR86. In today's world of numbers, where everyone talks about horsepower and 0 to 60, people seem to forget what a sports car really is about. Quick acceleration is great, but a sporty driving experience is much more than that. Lightweight body, weight distribution, super precise steering, excellent handling, those are what sports cars are about. A dying breed that, thanks to Toyota and a few more automakers, still exists. The GR86 is no speed demon, but it's a real joy to drive. Also, unlike most other Japanese sports cars, it doesn't have that boy racer element. Its aesthetics are rather subtle and mature, making the small coupe suitable for all age groups. Then there's the cabin, spacious enough to accommodate not just a couple of tall passengers, but a full set of track tires as well. Try that with the Miata if you can. And you know the best part? With a starting price of less than $30,000, it's a lifeline for so many enthusiasts who simply cannot keep up with crazy high prices on today's sports car market. Number 4. Toyota Tacoma. Of course, it's hard to imagine a list like this without the Tacoma. The best-selling midsize pickup was redesigned last year, and the new generation brought big improvements in almost every aspect, starting from turbocharged and hybrid powertrains. The new Tacoma is more capable and more efficient than its predecessor, while the new Trailhunter stands out as the ultimate overlanding machine. Plenty of options to choose from, an advanced suspension setup, and 2 bed and cab sizes make everyone easy to find their perfect configuration. While the new cabin doesn't just stand out with a massive touchscreen and nice materials, but some class exclusive features, such as those fancy seats with shock absorbers found in the TRD Pro. Number 3. Toyota Grand Highlander. As we just mentioned in the Highlander section, the Grand Highlander solved all the things that bothered its smaller sibling. It's spacious enough that it can actually accommodate passengers in all 3 rows. A spacious cabin with a stylish dashboard and the latest tech make this SUV a natural choice for families, especially if you add the fuel efficiency of the hybrid version into account. But probably for the first time, something with a Highlander in its name is also engaging to drive, considering the optional hybrid powertrain based on a Turbo 4 engine with 362 horsepower. To make the driving experience complete, Toyota even removed the CVT and installed a much better 6-speed automatic gearbox. Number 2. Toyota Camry. The all-new 9th generation Camry has just arrived, and with all the novelties, it's crystal clear that it's one of the best Toyotas you can buy on today's market. It's always been a no-brainer due to its practical design, efficiency, and affordability. Now things got even better. The new generation is hybrid only, and the new hybrid powertrain puts out 232 horsepower in combination with excellent fuel economy. The spacious and comfortable cabin, relaxed ride, and modern interior with lots of luxury bits, the new Camry impresses in pretty much every aspect, and it still remains priced under $30,000. With all these things in mind, it's clear why it remains a bestseller in this era of crossovers when most automakers rather give up on presence in this once super hot segment. Number 1. Toyota Land Cruiser. The Land Cruiser is back. After disappearing for a few years, it's once again available for US customers, this time in the form of the LC250, known as the Land Cruiser Prado in some parts of the world. And it's easily one of the best Land Cruisers we've seen so far, not only because of its super attractive styling, but also because Toyota found a sweet spot between comfort and off-road capabilities. On the road, it's more refined than ever, almost as comfy as the Land Rover Defender. But when it comes to off-road performance, it's way more capable than its British rival. Toyota blended mechanical and electrical off-road aids seamlessly and packed all of that in a pretty luxurious and stylish package. On top of that, its hybrid powertrain is not just powerful, but efficient as well, significantly more than the last Land Cruiser that was sold on our shores. In our humble opinion, it's not just one of the best Toyotas to buy, but it's one of the best new SUVs we've seen on the market in years. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.